The CFTC has filed fraud allegations against former FTX official Nishad Singh. He, of course, is the former head of engineering at FTX, the now defunct crypto exchange. And Matt, this news out of regulators here in the U.S., which would be civil charges, is after we got news earlier today that Singh also had pled guilty to criminal charges here in the U.S.
So much is happening in cryptocurrency. You miss a day, you miss a lot. In today's video, I'm going to take you through it, everything you need to know. Make sure you subscribe to our channel for daily cryptocurrency news, keeping you informed on everything you need to know about involving cryptocurrency. A former FTX director has turned on Sam Bankman-Fried. Former FTX engineering chief Nishad Singh pleaded guilty in a cooperation deal against the cryptocurrency exchange's co-founder, SBF.
This news out of regulators here in the U.S., which would be civil charges, is after we got news earlier today that Singh also had pled guilty to criminal charges here in the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how the criminal case would affect a civil suit, but if you've already pled guilty in one court, it would make sense that you're going to plead guilty in another. He's got a deal, it seems like, with the DOJ for his testimony, and the question is, does that carry it over to the CFT suit in terms of giving him leniency, the kind that we would expect to keep him out of jail for a longer period of time in exchange for his testimony?
Yeah, very good point. And of course, we've already seen other former FTX and Alameda officials cooperating with prosecutors as well. So, of course, a story that continues to evolve. Again, the CFTC filing fraud allegations against Nishad Singh.
In other news, this is a huge win for crypto adoption, Web3 adoption, gaming adoption. I told you, crypto gaming is going to be huge. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And this makes me realize that the dominoes are falling a lot faster than we all thought. The leading platform for game developers introduces an online storefront for decentralized tools, adding support for major Web3 players, Metamask, Immutable X, Solana. As part of the toolkit, Unity is adding support for 13 different blockchain-based software kits, SDKs, from chains and products including Algorand, Aptos, Flow, Immutable X, Metamask, Solana, Tezos. Unity aims to provide game developers resources to connect with Web3 gaming, a crypto sector that's been on the rise. With the decentralization storefront in the Unity Asset Store, developers can build in blockchain technologies such as non-fungible tokens and the metaverse to bolster gameplay experiences. Quote, "The gaming industry is rapidly growing and the Web3 gaming sector is attracting significant investments," Metamask said in a tweet. "Our listing in Unity will bring Web3 values to the gaming industry. It's a whole new era for gaming devs." Another massive, established, non-Web3 company adopting Web3 technology. This movement is bigger than Web3, according to the Secret Network's founder. We have the best chance to steer these massive companies in the right direction. We need to give them better incentives.
Until I think a few years ago, there were not really big incentives for big corporations like Google and others to change the ways. I think that is slightly shifting, not enough. It's like baby steps. But like whether it's regulation, whether it's Web3, whether it's like all these privacy-enhancing technologies that were sci-fi until a decade ago, but are actually becoming realistic and practical in these days. Even companies like Google are putting a lot of research and then turning that into production effort into privacy-preserving technologies. So, and I do think this whole privacy-preserving, confidential computing, whatever you want to call it, movement goes bigger than just Web3. It goes back to Web2. But I think Web3 just has let's say, we have the best chance and most likelihood to basically steer those big companies in the right direction, because without that, they're not incentivized to do it.
Did you even realize this? Polygon Studios quietly changed their name to Polygon Gaming. Basically a complete rebrand to focus solely on gaming. It happened so seamlessly you probably missed it. Trust. Everyone knows gaming is the conductor of mass Web3 adoption. Again, check out our top 10 gaming tokens video if you haven't watched this already. It's interesting also that Polygon's rebrand happens around the same time that Coinbase launches their base, their ETH-L2, not saying that the events have interconnectivity, but you can visibly see a race between two powerhouses starting. Coinbase's L2 will attack the same market as Polygon. Both companies are branding themselves accordingly. And Coinbase's L2 rollup, what a watershed moment in the evolution of Ethereum's rollup L2 ecosystem. If you're unfamiliar, what is Coinbase's ETH-L2, what is Base? Maddox put out a great short. He has a great YouTube channel. What is Base? Coinbase's Ethereum L2 explained.
Base is a recently announced Ethereum L2 built by the Coinbase team. Similarly to other L2s, Base is a separate chain that extends Ethereum and inherits its security guarantees. This allows for scaling Ethereum by creating a low-cost environment able to accommodate new users. Base is built on Optimism's open-source OP stack. OP stack is the standardized, shared, and open-source development stack that powers Optimism and is maintained by the Optimism Collective. Building on the OP stack means that Base is creating a specific type of L2 called an optimistic rollup. Optimistic rollups execute transactions outside Ethereum but post transaction data to the Ethereum mainnet. Optimistic rollups are considered optimistic because they assume transactions posted to Ethereum are valid. In cases where transactions are not calculated correctly, optimistic rollups rely on a fraud-proving scheme.
Not to mention Ethereum L2s in general just killing it. Arbitrum surpasses Ethereum in transaction volume. The L2 has surpassed the L1 in transaction volume. Video from the boys over at Bankless.
This is a big week for Arbitrum.
Transaction volume is through the absolute roof. The new all-time high in transaction volume for Arbitrum, I think 2x its previous all-time high. Arbitrum passed Ethereum. Arbitrum at layer 2 by itself passed the Ethereum L1 transaction
First
capacity.
time this has happened ever. And it won't be the last.
Get your tickets to Bitcoin 2023 Miami, May 18th through 20th, Miami Beach this year. Use code Altcoin Daily, 10% off. This is the biggest Bitcoin conference of the year. Ticket prices continue to increase as we get closer to the event. Use code Altcoin Daily, 10% off. Get your tickets now. What about Cardano? I mean, Unity is adopting Ethereum, Metamask, ETH-L2s, Solana, Algorand, Aptos. Why aren't people doing this on Cardano? What about Cardano NFTs? Point of view, you're a Cardano holder at NFT Paris, locked in Lucas featuring Not Thread Guy.
Which blockchain do you use?
ETH Maxi.
ETH Maxi? I'm more into the Cardano scene. You know the Cardano scene?
Why?
You don't like it? Really, bro?
Do you like it?
Like, it's much better than ETH and Solana and all of those shits, man.
Really? Why?
Yeah. Bro, it's like the future, man. Like, they revolutionized the
You can't even
NFT.
say it with a straight face.
Which blockchain, man? Which blockchain?
A bit of everything, yeah. So
But mostly?
mainly so, soon Ethereum.
I'm more with the Cardano scene. You know the Cardano scene?
More the what?
Cardano.
Nah.
You don't like the Cardano?
I have hold some of it.
No, really, bro?
Yeah.
You don't like Cardano, bro?
No.
No, you don't like Cardano?
Man, I fucking love Cardano.
You don't like Cardano? Yo, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, bro.
What about privacy? Now, I would say that Monero is the most private cryptocurrency with the greatest adoption. However, in his reporting on Chainalysis and others, a Wired reporter found that XMR Monero is traceable too. I wanted to show you this to put it on your radar. I like Monero, but what do you think about this?
Alphabet came back online in late 2021, now run by its former second in command. And Alphabet now only accepts Monero as, for drug transactions or crime transactions, basically. I think that's a really interesting example. Monero is, there's no doubt, far, far harder to trace than Bitcoin has ever been. It like kind of tangles up people's transactions and hides the amount of them. And so, it may seem that like this golden age of cryptocurrency tracing is coming to an end, that people are wising up, but I think it's maybe more accurate just to see it as like another phase, another step in this cat and mouse game. And in that same leaked Chainalysis presentation that we talked about, they claim that they can trace Monero in the majority of cases. They say that that's like in, I think like something like 60% of cases, they can get a usable lead.
Subscribe to our channel if you want to be a part of daily videos covering the entirety of the cryptocurrency market. And rest assured that cryptocurrency is the future. We believe that the internet needs a currency. Square/Cash App/the blocks, COO and CFO. Subscribe to the channel, join the Altcoin Daily team. I'll leave you with this.
I wanted to ask you about Bitcoin. You have, I think, about $1.83 billion as of Q4 in terms of revenue, down 7%. You also have Bitcoin on your balance sheet. How much is there right now?
Over $130 million of Bitcoin on our balance sheet as of the end of the year, with a fair market value being above that. Ultimately for us, this is a long-term, potentially transformational initiative to build utility into the Bitcoin ecosystem. We believe the internet needs a currency that will help bring down inefficient costs in the system that exists right now, particularly for underserved consumers around the world and in emerging markets. So our focus here is on the ways in which we can help build resilience utility into the Bitcoin ecosystem. But we're doing that in a disciplined way.